Hello, my name is Jessica McCoy. I will be the principal at USD 314 next year, and this is my introduction video to EDL 951. So some background about me. As I said, it'll actually be my first year serving as pre-K through 12 principal at Brewster School in Northwest Kansas. I have previously taught high school math for the past 15 years. And this last year, while teaching high school math, I also served as a part-time admin intern to gain the experience and knowledge to be able to move into this new role. So I'm very excited to take that step up into that leadership position. I am married and have 4 kids. My older 2 will be turning 12 and 11 in the next week or so, and because they're only 5 days apart in their birthday. And then my younger 2, I had to put on there that they're 7.5 and 6.5, because they constantly remind me that they have to have that half piece. They're no longer just 7 and 6. My husband and I, besides our regular jobs, we also operate a farming business where we custom cut and we have rentals. And then I wanted to put that family is very important to us. We are lucky enough to have both sets of grandparents live in the surrounding area of us, along with other family. And so if it weren't for their support, we wouldn't be where we're at in life. And so that's always just a big piece to what's going on. So throughout this presentation, I will be discussing the operations and management of a district with the different levels of government. And I will just be able to demonstrate how I understand the capacity to create future successes and well-beings of each student and adult, and apply my knowledge and skills to be able to operate that district. So on the 3 branches of government, the first one is the federal level. So that would be the U.S. Department of Education. Their role or their job is to determine policies related to funding, such as education reform. They collect data and research on strengths and weaknesses within the education system, whether it's at the state level or local level. They look for those trends. They identify and look for solutions to problems in education at the national level, and then share those out to the states. And then they enforce any discrimination laws that take place within districts. At the state level, the Kansas Department of Education would be that. Their job is to provide and allocate funding to all their local school districts in their state. They set their state standards and assessments that we give out each year. They oversee any special education services. They also handle all of the licensing associated with a school, and they elect their state board members. At the local level, that would be USD 314's Board of Education. They're responsible for developing school policies, for adopting a budget and allocating funds, interviewing and employing a superintendent, getting direction and adopting a set curriculum for the district, and accepting the negotiated agreement that deals with the rest of the staff. So about my local school board, it's a 7-member board. It's actually made up of a lot of newer board members. I would say the average experience is probably 3 years, so it's a fairly new, young board. What they do is they take advisement from the superintendent and identify needs, decide what curriculum to adopt or what supporting material to gather to fill the needs of students and teachers. They oversee the regular operations and spending of the district. They post their regular and special board meeting minutes and agendas on the school website. They are responsible for voting on any major projects and determining how to allocate funds. For instance, we are currently doing a big window project in our school and replacing our entire south side of windows. We actually have it in 3 phases, so the school board decided to set it up into 3 phases, and so this first phase will be done this summer, and then for the following 2 summers after that, we will replace the rest of the windows that need replacing in our building. The board also sets committees for specific areas, so they have a committee for transportation, They have a hiring committee, and they also have individuals on their board that attend meetings at like the local service center or college board meetings, and then they come back and share that information. They do receive yearly trainings. They review school data and work with the superintendent on any staff or student needs. They approve the hiring of staff based on the superintendent recommendations. They also approve any out-of-district students because we gain a lot of students from Colby and Goodland. They address any community concerns that come up. And then they also work closely with USD 275 because we are in a cooperative with our team sports. So they work with their board on that athletics piece. As far as the superintendent role goes for in my district, it is typically a combined principal superintendent single position. But being that this year is my first year as principal, the board elected to hire me as a full-time principal and then hire a part-time or a superintendent interim superintendent to just help support me and give me the knowledge to be able to then step into that role the following year. So I will be in that position the following year. It asks, how does your superintendent lead, change, develop, monitor, evaluate, and manage data-informed and equitable district systems for operations, resources, technology, and human capital management? So the superintendent works with staff to identify the greatest needs of the district. Then the superintendent will acquire any curriculum options by asking for samples or piloting a program and any supplemental materials for staff. They will set the KISA goals with the support from the DLT. Being that we are a single building district, our DLT is also our building leadership team, and we have a variety of staff on that, from elementary to high school to support staff to special ed staff. The superintendent regularly reviews the data that we collect and uses in-service to share that out with the staff. The superintendent also shares that data out at board meetings, so the board is aware. They schedule professional development based on any needs that we have. So depending on the areas of curriculum or supplemental materials, whatever it's related to, they will give us professional development on that. And then they are responsible for hiring quality or highly qualified staff. All right, being that we are a single building district, the next piece asks, how does the superintendent develop, communicate, implement, and evaluate data-informed and equitable management, communication, technology, governance, and operation systems at the district level to support schools in realizing their district's mission and vision? So the superintendent has regular daily meetings with maintenance, transportation, technology, and finance. That also includes our office manager, who is also our athletic director. They are all a part of a morning meeting. It's a short, maybe 30-minute meeting every day. And it just is a way to go through the needs of the school, any happenings of what's going on, and just making sure everything's covered. The superintendent also continually promotes the district mission and vision. So our mission statement at USD 314 is that we will work together to establish a safe and caring environment where students gain knowledge, grow in wisdom, and develop confidence, and they build a strong foundation for lifelong learning and civic responsibility. So we make sure that we address each of those pieces in our operations. How does the superintendent develop, implement, and evaluate coordinated data-informed systems for hiring, retaining, supervising, and developing school and district staff? So the superintendent currently sets up hiring committees. And so if we're looking to hire an elementary teacher, the superintendent will reach out to a couple elementary staff and have them be a part of the hiring committee. That person is responsible for advertising open positions in our district by gathering all the information needed and then posting it on the Educate Kansas website, along with the local papers, to be able to hopefully get qualified applicants. Our superintendent does promote hiring from within, especially through the TAP program, We recently, in the past couple years, we were able to take a couple support staff. We had one sub in our district and then two paras that we took and have put them through the TAP program. One is completed and the other two will be completing their program soon. But we were able to take those support staff and put them through the TAP program to be able to gain them as qualified teachers in our district. The superintendent also works with the community to find quality staff as well. So just advertising out the needs within our community, because our community really wants to support our school and keep it open. So that's a big role for the superintendent. As far as my personal experiences go with each of these levels, on the federal level, I have experience or knowledge with FERPA confidentiality laws and special education laws just through trainings that I receive each year and research that I have done. At the state level, just understanding the state standards, college and career readiness standards, and then all of the KESA trainings that the state provides. And at the local level, I attend all the board meetings. The school board does a beginning of the year meal for the staff to be able to show their support. And then they also have Staff Appreciation Week where they come around to each classroom and just give a little goodie bag to say how much each staff member is appreciated. With the superintendent principal, they are my boss. That's who I report to. I was their admin intern this year, so I gained a lot of experience. I assisted with discipline. I sat in on interviews. I presented or collaborated and presented the KESA presentations because I was the main person on the DLT. I also helped create in-service agendas and run some of the in-services. And then I attended all the IEP meetings. So do any of the branches have too much or not enough power to carry out their duties? Well, I said that I believe at USD 314 that our board is limited in their power just based on their lack of guidance or lack of knowledge being a newer school board. So I believe that it's the superintendent's role to kind of provide some of that experience or just knowledge so that the board can operate in confidence. Do any of the branches impede their will and are a deterrent to school improvement? I do believe that the state of Kansas accreditation process is typically based on larger districts. So sometimes they overlook small rural schools, which makes it difficult when it comes to reaching those levels of school improvement that they want to see. I also believe that if the superintendent does not provide enough guidance for the local board, that can make it difficult for schools to be successful. So what changes would I advocate for when I become the district administrator? Well, I would want better communication with our local school board just to keep everyone on the same page of the needs and everything. I would ask for more board involvement with the board agendas and to set board goals. Right now, the superintendent sets the board agendas and then just shares it out with the board. So there isn't a really strong relationship there. And I would like to have that with the board president. And then the board doesn't have their own specific goals. They go off the goals of the school, and I think that they need to have their own to be able to move forward. I want to push for a more tech ed collaboration, and it's a 3-year goal I have. Right now, we have students who attend Northwest Tech in Goodland, Kansas for half of their classes, their junior and senior year, and they're doing a certificate program during high school. So when they graduate high school, they also get a college degree or college certificate. So my goal is that in the next 3 years, all of our juniors and seniors will attend one of those programs. And it will just be an expectation that our school has. I believe that's a great way just to promote that, whether kids move on and go to college or not from there. I believe that I would like to see the district or the board set department goals and budgets. And so I feel like we spend money just when something comes up, we put money into it. And I don't know that we have set budgets for each department. I would also like to see more community involvement because even though we are a small community, I feel like sometimes we get lost within our own walls. And I'd like to see us reach out more to the community. And I would also like to pursue grants for various needs, such as advertising housing. We have a daycare that I'd like to see more done with. And then again, those students